All right. Hope everybody's ready. We've got just under a minute before the open. I'm John Hoagland. With us, as always, is Michael Patak, and we got Rips with us this morning. How's it going, Rips?
Hey, it's going well. Thanks for having me, Hogan MP.
Hey, can I call you Rips?
Yeah, whatever you want. I heard you on the broadcast a couple of times talking about selling rips, and that's actually my handle. So it's pretty.
That's kind of what I was going at. So thanks for joining us today. The market is opening up here in seconds, if not right now. And then we don't have our
seconds.
Yeah, John, where's your little bell? That's not the Eddie bell.
I was just gonna go ding ding today. So
yeah, ding ding's fine. Ding ding's fine.
Ding 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 ding. Markets are open.
Wow, a little flush here off the open here, heading down, barreling down towards the 910s here. We have some bids firming up towards the 910s, catching that pretty quickly here.
All right, so Rips, give everybody a little 401 skinny on what you look at coming right out of the gate.
So I'm a momentum trader, and I trade every single morning live on my YouTube channel from 8 a.m. until about 10 a.m. here. And I usually trade the open just like this. Usually I'd be long here, but a little bit caught off guard there. We did barrel down to the 910. So what I'm looking for is market structure. We drew this out this morning. We're looking down at 917 and a quarter or so, looking to see, kind of where things were going to be firming up. And we have this possible overhead supply area that we're talking about here that basically runs up all the way up to 941 here. So if we break above 941, I'm looking for a long all the way up to 74.
41's okay. So you like the 10 down there?
Yeah, I'm watching these 41s right now, seeing if I can get long and strong here. I'm actually going to take that long here. Looking for a break up into 74.
Actually, John, what is your opening?
I'm adding to that here for the break of 50s now.
Okay.
The opening range in the S&P so far is the low of the session. It is kind of a large opening range at 6 points, which makes the risk about 8 points on it.
Nice push up here, going up towards the 60s. I'm going to peel off 3 into that pull.
But I got the NASDAQ chart up here for everybody, so I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, I got short right here. The tilt is very.
Stop that on the rest there. That's going to put me up on the day so far, $2,700.
There you go. Nice. There you go. What account are you trading in right now?
Trading across 3 combines right now. I passed one combine earlier this morning. We have one that's now $700 away from passing, and then I think one here is at about 4,200 more to go. So I did pass up into the live. You guys, you folks here called me up into the live account. So waiting for that live account to be provisioned. I want to have 3 XFAs to trade alongside that as well.
All right, sounds good. I'm short from 50. I'm short of 5 lot from 50.
Nice trade.
I'm going to take off 2. I like it just because when you got out, I was looking to get in. So now I got a 1 lot on. I'm going to let this one hold. So I'm up 1,000.
I like your short there, MP.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, we're going to have battle of the radio voices between John and Rips today. A bunch of people in here say you got a good radio voice. So, John.
I get that a lot on my channel for some reason. I don't know what it is.
They always tell me
trading ASMR.
Yeah.
They always tell me I have a good face for radio.
I think you have a great broadcasting voice there, Hogue.
Rips.
How did that work in the pit? I mean, would you get sore and scratchy after a day of screaming?
Well, I mean, after a while, I mean, you get kind of used to it. I think your vocal cords get used to being beat up all day, every day. But I think it has a lot to do with, how the tone of my voice now.
Yeah. Adam in here says I have a face for radio. So I really appreciate that, Adam. My confidence is sky high out of the gate today.
Hey, I bet you they don't have a short on from 50 and they're printing like you are right now.
Yeah. Adam, do you have a short 5 lots on from 50s? No, I got out of that. So I'm up.
How much you pulled down there, MP?
1,000 right out of the gate.
That's my guy. Look at that. Way to go. Give it up for MP over here.
And that's what we call a stack lunch. And then what's so great about TopstepTV and your stream as well, you can get in the conversation and then you catch yourself over trading. So that's what I really like about this, because when I start to trade a little bit, then I start getting in conversations with whomever, and keeps myself from over trading 80% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, the community is strong. I mean, you folks here in TopstepTV, Topstep in general, you folks are amazing, but the community you guys are building here on TopstepTV is so helpful for newer traders. I wish that I had this when I started a decade ago. It would have been amazing.
Same here, man. He started a decade ago.
Yeah, that's when I started trading about 10 years ago, 2013.
It's almost like being in the trading pit, like when it was slow. This is that we just all sat around talking, telling jokes and stuff. But when the market's moving, you got to be paying attention.
It is moving a bit right now. I mean, it's moving these 20 handle swings in the Nasdaq pretty nonchalantly.
Well, yeah, we pulled back below that 17 and a quarter area that we're talking about here off the open. We pulled back down below that 17 and a quarter. We firmed up bids again, so it might be looking nice ripe for a long here back above 41s. We'll have to see.
So you're liking your. Go ahead, Johnny.
One of the levels I was looking at in the Nasdaq was the low of the opening range from yesterday, which was 16,971. 16,971. What's our overnight high? 16,970 and a quarter within 3 ticks of it. That to me is kind of an important level. That's when the market really started to accelerate after we took out that opening range low in the S&Ps and the Nasdaq. So the overnight high looks like a really kind of important pivotal level for us today in the Nasdaq and probably in the S&Ps.
Yeah, what I was watching yesterday, I only took 2 real trading sessions yesterday. I was only focused on 2 areas of the market, obviously trading in the morning on my live stream over at the Market Clubhouse YouTube channel. But in the afternoon, we had that huge break. Everybody was asking me, when that happened, was that news? Was that news? That was just market structure. We broke down that 74 area. And once we snapped that 74, that's where I got short. I ended up trading, like I said, these 3 combines, ended up making $13,000 into that drop. And I only caught a little slice of that move. I mean, I didn't even, I hit the max profit goal on all my combines, so I couldn't trade anymore. I didn't have any live accounts to trade because it's still being provisioned. And so, yeah.
Wow,
great move though.
How long does that take to get set up? The live account? Because
they actually messaged me late last night that it's pretty much good to go now.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. So your team's very amazing, very quick.
Yeah. I'm short 31s right now, just light and tight on seeing if there's a pullback. A 15, 20 handle move would be nice, but
yeah,
I'll even take 10.
That overnight high is so critical in the Nasdaq. We got nowhere near this level in the S&Ps where the market accelerated to the downside yesterday at that when it took out the opening range low. I mean, we're still down here in the S&Ps. We haven't gotten anywhere near it yet.
Is this a better mic volume here? Because there's some folks complaining it's a little bit too loud on the mix. Is that better?
You're good on our end.
Okay, great.
It says incredibly loud. Hold on. And then guys,
I just want to make sure we're getting some comments in chat about that.
Production team, if you guys want to.
I turned myself down here too. If it's just it's a little bit too still too loud. They say go lower. Okay, I'll go a little bit lower. I'll just mute myself.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, why don't you just mute yourself, Rev? Who's in the production? Can you guys help him out?
Right.
All right. Those 31 shorts were nice. The 50 shorts were nice. So shorts are working today for me. Rips, I'll let you talk here in a second so we get your mic. But
yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't know if you guys want me up or down or wherever you want me.
Well, you made money yesterday. Yesterday was a very tough day for Mr. Michael Patak.
So how'd you do on that flush? Did you try to bounce it? What was your MO?
I got in the morning. I got caught all the way up. I was down $3,000. Ended the day down $3,000, or ended the segment down $3,000. Came back on for power hour because I was skiing on the mountain. Came back on in my ski gear. Got the first, or actually tried to get it when I thought I was firming up, and then I was down $5,000. Called Mick and risk manager, told him to move my DLL to $10,000. I don't like doing that, but
it's like moving your stop loss in a trade.
Yeah, it's like moving your stop loss in a trade. Did not like that, but then it fell out of bed because there's so much activity, and I ended up the day down like $1,800, and I was ecstatic. Why? Because I hate anything over $3,000 because it's just like it makes it a challenge. I'm up 1,200 right now. You can put up 1,000 with just some smart trading, and 2,000 with just some good trading, and 3,000 is great trading for me. So to have a great trading day after
it sounds like you had a nice bounce back.
I was happy with it. How about that? I wasn't looking to make money at that point. I was looking to get as close to cutting that in half as I could, and I did. So
what's interesting too, being a trader as long as everybody in the room here has, I don't know if it's just me, but from a psychological standpoint, let's just say you're down 10 grand on the day, right? It's a terrible day. And you go back to the market later on in the day and you even make like $1,000 or $2,000 on an amazing read in the market, a great trade. I feel like even if you don't make back your loss, that relief alone makes you feel better.
That's the best. Yep, that's the best gosh darn feeling. Swear to God. Even if you just take a little bit off, because then you end the day on a little bit of like, okay, I got on base. Like baseball, like strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. And then, ninth inning, you hit a nice little double. And you're like, okay, I'm ready for tomorrow's game. Let's hit the showers.
So you're feeling better today then, psychologically?
Yeah. I didn't come in a little timid, and that's scared money don't make money.
So what are you up right now? You're up a G?
$1,200 now.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of creating a pretty smooth bell curve right now in the volume shelf, and I'm just focused on the NQ here. We have a nice volume shelf that's kind of betwixt 25 all the way up to about 40 or so. So we're painting that pretty nicely here. The longer that we're rejecting above 35 and we find sellers in that area, the likelihood that we come down below 17 and a quarter and start entertaining that liquidity that's down there parked at 887 and a quarter would become more likely. How do you feel about that there, Hogue?
I completely agree. I mean, we took out the low of the opening range in the NASDAQ, which we have not done yet in the S&Ps, but when we quickly trade both sides of the opening range, it's kind of telling us already that it might kind of end up being range bound. But I love the short. We traded all the way up to basically in the overnight to the low of yesterday's range before it broke. Low opening range was the low of the day yesterday until we barreled through it. Went all the way back to that level. That to me was a great short. It happened before the open. It gave us a little bit of a chance on the pop to the upside. So I can certainly see. Let's take a look down to VWAP and see what we can find out down there. VWAP is.
Go ahead.
We're at about 16,889.
Hold up. Does Hogue have a robot voice? You got
Okay.
I'll be back. All right. And then, guys, are we okay with my mic and Rip's mic?
I hope I'm not still too loud. Somebody,
Hogue your mic is cloud. We're just gonna go off what Jen said. We're gonna go one person in here. He says it's fine now.
MP rips are good. Okay. That's good.
All right, so we're at the 10s now, and we are showing no bids in here. And the reason why I like what you were just talking about out of the gate, not because it's down here and it's kind of already playing out, is because a lot of the community was long. And I look at what the community bias is, because the bias to me tells me what everybody in the active trading world may be doing with live accounts at the personal brokerage and things like that. It gives you a strong bias. And when you get a bias in the markets, a strong bias leaning one way or the other, Rips, I watched that. I've been watching it for years, and it tells me a lot about what the herd is doing. The large percentage of people are doing. So that's something I watch. It's an indicator that Topstep shares back with the community. And it's on the top of your screen, everybody. It's on the top of your screen rolling across, and it's on Topstep X.
Yeah, we were talking about that this morning, actually, on my live stream. We were kind of going over, on that print that came out. We had 4 different prints that came out this morning. We had the GDP, 2 GDP reads that came out. We had the jobless claims. We had some Canadian data coming out. And, on the moment that those prints came out, it was right at 8:30. The moment that those prints came out, we had a flash down to the downside, very thin liquidity to the downside, and some bids were swept to the downside there. And there's a lot of folks that if they're having a bias and, they're stubborn, they're angry bears, they're looking at this market grinding higher and higher and higher. And they look at that and they say, you know what? This market's up too much. I'm looking for any excuse to short. And they barrel into that short. Well, what happened, not 30 seconds after we had that short little dip on that print, we ripped to the top side. What was that? From 867 all the way up to 965. So you're talking about 100 handles straight to the face. And if you're shorting into that and you're stubborn and you're not changing your bias, you're never going to make it in trading. And you have to focus on the trades of what the market's trying to tell you. Focus on the market structure. Focus on what the bids and offers are. Are they thin to the bid side? Are they thin to the ask side? Pay attention to what the market's trying to tell you and leave your bias at the door, because that's how you're going to be consistently profitable.
Yeah, my bias yesterday was to the short side, but I was long right first thing in the morning because that's what the market was telling me.
Right. Yeah, we had a.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, yeah, we had yesterday was very much slow and grindy. And, it was pretty much, I wrote off the entire session. I was just thinking, I'm probably not even going to trade for the rest of the day. And lo and behold, we had that snap through the market structure at 974 when we had that massive sell-off, that algorithmic driven sell-off to the downside there. And, I didn't even think I was going to trade. And we talk about this often as well. If you go into the market every single day and you're sitting there saying, I'm going to make 10 grand today, I'm going to hit a home run today, I'm going to have the best trading day of my career, you're going to get smoked. But yesterday I made 13 grand on that move to the downside. If you asked me an hour before that move happened and you said, hey, Rips, are you going to make an additional 10 grand today in the markets? I'd say you're crazy. Of course I'm not. But lo and behold, you wait for those moves to happen, you lever into it and you snap a move off like that and you pull 13 grand from the market because those kind of home runs will happen when you least expect it. And that's the kind of mindset these traders should have.
Yeah. Home runs you hit home runs in spite of yourself sometimes. You can't plan for it. You just have to let it happen.
I mean, when's the last time that you planned for a grand slam and it happened? Both of you guys, right?
No. You keep hitting base hits. You get doubles, you get triples. And then next thing you know, you'll load the bases in your mind on a trading day. Boom, boom, boom. Winner. The small one, big one, small one, big one. And then next thing you know it, you'll sink your teeth into something. You'll see it really clearly. And you add some size, and then you bang out a huge day.
Exactly. And it's like those trades that you have that the look is looking very nice. It's starting to look pretty. You're adding into your winner. You're being nice, calm, cool, and collected into it. And all of a sudden, let's say like yesterday, you're adding into that winner and then boom, you get that big snap to the downside there and it just barrels down and you just take your hands off and you say, all right, I'm going to let this work. I'm going to let this work and see what happens.
Ed, small ball. Brooksy, MP loves baseball. I played baseball when I was a kid, got hit in the face and then quit and then played basketball and football. But there is a reason. I used to have trading cards, and I used to say this stuff. So look at that one. Small ball, chip away, brick by brick. That's how you build a winner. I used to have that. It's a buyer trading card, and on the back it's a seller card. Johnny used to have these as a broker and all this kind of stuff. So I have them all on the wall. You can see them on the wall over here. And they're just little things that remind me. I've had these things going on since, I don't know, 2000 and something, early 2000s. I started trading in 97.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm only 26 still.
What was the NAS back in 97? That thing must have been like $4,500 or something, right?
Yeah, it was because the 5,000 was a big number, right? When it hit 5,000 in March of 2000.
Oh man.
Then we had the
99 boom.
It was a roaring 90s on all the .coms, and then the Super Bowl came out with the pets.com or whatever that was the final one. And
yeah, I remember pets.com. That was amazing.
I was part of the late roaring 20 or the 90s in the .com, and then the NASDAQ hit 5,000, and it did not break 5,000 for like 10 years later. Look it up.
Wow. Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean, we've been blessed with some beautiful volatility over the last 4 or 5 years. It's just been amazing. I mean, even longer than that, 6, 7 years now that I think about it. It's just been some gorgeous volatility to trade. There's never been a better time to be a trader. I mean, the best time to start was yesterday. Second best time is today.
Well, Rips, I would have to challenge that one because Johnny will say there's never been a better time to be a trader. Being a broker in the pit in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
They said you just had to have a pulse, right, Johnny? You just had to have a pulse in your six-figure trade.
Well, I mean, it was a little bit more than that, but yeah, it was definitely easier. You could see when your direct competitors, the people in the pit, were all stuck one way, and you just go the other way, and eventually they're gonna
start ripping faces off.
Yeah. Here, check this out, Rips. If you can see that this time.
Let me see here. I got to bring this up here. Go back over.
This is
okay. I got you.
This is, look at the date, 1984.
Oh, look at this.
150.75.
Oh my gosh.
That's the
that is
S&P
amazing.
150, John. That is amazing.
Look at the range, 152.55 to 150.30.
You got to frame that, John. That's amazing.
That's quite big for the percentage move. Right?
Yeah, right. I mean, it was a $2 range.
Look at how many contracts are open too. 31,000.
31,000, right?
Oh my God. This is
31,000.
really, really sweet. Hold on. Go over to the high and low. 170 to one to the right. 178. Yeah, 178 to one. Now you're fuzzy.
50-30.
150.
We put it in
28
that
handle.
day.
Hold on, John. How's that correct? Because that a 10 handle move would be 17, and that's a 10% move. Is that right?
Well,
A
yeah, this is
10%
the
move.
contract high and low.
Oh, the contract high. Sorry.
That's the contract high and low. Here's the daily high and low here.
Wow.
Oh, 2 handles. Okay. So that is that's about 2%. No, 1%. 10% is 15.
Right.
1% is 1.5. So it's about 2%. So we're moving. That's what these indexes seem like they move. You know, you get your good move days or your one. I mean, right now we're almost up 1%, but like your 1 to 2% moves. But then you see these wild ones, and like
this was when the S&Ps traded in nickels.
Yeah, that's great. I was just about to ask, what was a tick? A nickel, right?
Yup, it was a nickel. It was still $25, and then they halved the contract size and then made a tick a dime, which was still $25.
Wow.
this is very cool. I didn't know you had this. And really quickly, somebody asked about open interest. What is it?
Open interest is the number of outstanding contracts. So let's say I initiate a position and I buy one from Michael that he's initiating the short. I'm initiating the long. He's initiating the short. That creates a contract, and the open interest is the total number of outstanding contracts. We're over 2 million in open interest right now in the S&Ps.
Yeah. And I think in the NAS we're what, like somewhere between 500 and 750K, right?
I can tell you right now. Hang on. So yeah, the S&Ps were 2,163,000. The NASDAQ is 273,000 is the total open interest.
That's it. And the NAS only 273.
Yeah.
Wow, that seems pretty low. I guess seasonality. But...
No,
it wasn't.
Might have something to do with it. We just went through rollover. That may have a part of it.
I thought we had at least $500,000 though.
Yeah, because usually
you're right. 272. Wow,
5 million in the S&Ps.
Yeah, only 650K in volume yesterday too. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so John, this is value high, right? Weekly kickoff high, 925.
Yes. Yeah, and the NASDAQ. Yes, correct.
Yeah, and it's been floating around this level this entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know.
Yeah.
5, 9.
It's basically saying that the longer time frame hasn't made any decisions at this level yet.
Yeah,
because we're just flopping around it.
Yep.
Yeah, the volume shelf that we're talking about earlier has expanded now to basically 905 all the way up to 935. So
okay, 905 up to 935. And when you talk about that, you're basically volume. What do you use to see that
volume profile? I'm just looking at the distribution on the session so far.
Here it is. Okay. Here's the market profile and volume profile. So Rips is talking about, we run out of volume down here. We run out of volume.
I have it. Hold on, John. We'll switch to your screen, but I have it right here too.
Sorry.
Right? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
And guys, we talk everybody that comes on here. I mean, follow and track the volume. It's a big thing, of course. And as new traders,
those are the breadcrumbs the market's trying to leave for you to teach you how to trade it.
100%. I know we all want to get fully technical and all that, but there's that's a piece of it. But there's also more to it than that. So go ahead, John, and talk really quickly about the volume profile that you and Rips are talking about.
Visually, what Rips is talking about is we ran out of volume down here.
That level
all the volume is between here and here. So that's 35, 37, 35, 36, 37 here, and low volume here as well. So the market is just kind of hanging out right here in the middle. You focus on the extremes where volume dies. Those are your better trade locations because you can limit risk. I wouldn't do anything in here.
And coming from the pits, you're huge on auction theory, right? I mean, are you familiar with Dalton's teachings?
Yeah.
Of course,
he knows Dalton.
Hey, there you go.
It's always on my desk.
I love it.
Always on my desk.
A lot of folks don't even understand that they look at charts or newer traders that are maybe they've only been electronic traders. They've never been younger traders now obviously never been in the pit. Right. So they don't really understand that you're looking at this is a real life auction with real life participants here. And when we get up to say these 30s up here, these 35s, you have to picture a big room that we're all in here. And somebody's sitting there saying, who wants these 35s? And every single time we get up to those 35s, they're going, sell these 35s, sell these 35s. We don't want these 35s. And if you can look at the volume profile and imagine this room is going off here, we get down to the 905s and they're going, we love these 905s. We want to buy these 905s.
Right.
Picture this room like this and add some color to it. It'll help you understand what you're actually trading here.
Holy shit, John!
Yeah.
He's a pit trader. He's a pit trader.
Yeah.
That's exactly what pit traders did.
But he's absolutely right. You know, if you're selling shovels and you price it too high, nobody's going to buy it. If you price it too low, you're going to run out of inventory.
Right.
Yeah, but and then you get new information. The guy that comes down from the mountain says, "Holy shit, there's a ton of gold up there," and everybody's like, then they're lifting offers, you know, on your shovels.
Yeah, and then you can raise your price.
And then you can raise your price. Price moves up.
Right.
It sits at that level for a while until somebody comes down there. There's nothing up there, and now people start dumping their shovels. I mean, it's just interesting when you get new information in the markets. It's all price discovery, and you then feel out the people like Rips just talked about. John talked about. You could see it in the trading pit. We share it with this tilt indicator because it's kind of like you'll see people start to get long at certain levels. You like I'm looking at it over here. You guys see it at the top of your screen. You know, it gets up to say a certain level, and you're like, man, everybody's getting long up here. Oh, and everybody's getting short at this level. Like a bias, like a stronger bias towards that. It's just interesting. And then it plays in, then Rips to talk about the volume. And then you got your technicals and all that other stuff. I think that's always.
Well, technical analysis works for one single reason. It's because this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If everybody's focused on the same levels, of course, those levels are going to work. And
it goes.
Yeah.
Right. Price is nothing but the advertising mechanism for the auction process.
Exactly right. Very well put.
If price advertises too high, nobody's going to buy it. You'll attract sellers. Right now, I would say our little auctioneer has been pandering since the open.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're just go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, guys, put a poll in there. Do you understand the auction process that we're talking about? I did not. I swear to God, I did not until I came to the pits. I was in the screens for, I don't know, however many, five some years. And then I was in the pits for, like up until we started Topstep. So I've been trading since I was 97. So long story short, the pits was when I really started understanding the auction process. Then I understood it to the best level I could by meeting Johnny in 2010, John Hoagland right here. So do you understand the auction process? Yes or no?
Because everything you're doing is part of the auction process. We're all participants.
Yeah, this is what I like to call right now. This is a market maker session. They're just here to rinse retail. If they're sticking around here, they're just here to rinse you from the lows to the highs and back again and trick you. And they'll tease you too, because if you actually watch the order book here, they're going to tease up the ask maybe a couple few ticks more than it should be, just to see if they can tickle that a little bit higher and get some suckers to buy into that. And they'll be the counterparty of that trade, selling it heavy. And as we get more and more extended, they're getting thicker and thicker on the offer. And then boom, they flush it down. They pull their bids. Round and round we go until you get rinsed out. And once that's all cleared out, that's the time when we actually make the move out of consolidation.
So we're trying to poke our head out of it right now to the downside. John, if there is an auction process video that you have, please let the Slack channel know here at Topstep or whatever. We can share with the folks. You've been speaking about this for years. So
yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything specific about the auction process. I know. Well, what was it? The 5 day thing that we did a couple of years ago. I think it's still on
101.
YouTube. Yeah,
the 101, 201, 301.
Yeah, there's a whole hour on the auction process.
Or just Google it too, but.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're getting books, you get Dalton's books, Mind Over Markets and Markets in Profile. And, Hoag, you're just answering that question. What's funny about it is that you have to read the pages in that book multiple times. There you go. Exactly. I'd go get my copies. They're on my desk over here too.
I keep them right here, man.
And the thing is that you have to read those pages multiple times. It's not like you can read the page and go right through. You have to read those pages multiple times because there's so much information that's packed in.
Textbook.
Kind of busting out of this. What do you think about the VWAP? Because the VWAP chat folks are talking. We're right on the VWAP.
Yeah, we're pushing down. The VWAP I have is 895 right now. So we're pushing down. The level I have below that is 887 and a quarter. There is a nice little channel that we built this morning between 887 down to 853 and a half. So I'd like to see if we can actually push below those 887s and a quarter to see if we actually go no bid into that zone. If we go into that zone, I'd expect consolidation between 853 and a half up to 87 quarter.
87 quarter was last week's high.
Right, exactly. And that's why we have that level.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a little confluence here. You got the 50 session moving average on the 30-minute chart and VWAP right at the same spot.
Right. And if we're looking at the Mag 7, which is kind of what drives the NAS that I watch here, if we're looking at the Mag 7 right now, we have complete softness across the board with Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, all very soft here. So keeping an eye on those things is also going to be a good indicator. And we're about to run on the SPY down into the 50 EMA, which is also another confluence point that you want to watch. We start breaking that, heads are going to roll today.
That would be nice. I like heads rolling. I got long 88 quarters. You guys are talking about 87 quarters, and we had the VWAP players in here. A couple of you guys in the chat talked about getting long. I wanted to get along with you guys as well, so we can talk about the trade. I'm not going to let this take too much heat. So if it does pop again, 10 or 15 or 20 handles, I'll take it off. So
we did just have the 10 a.m. data come out, I believe. Yeah, 10 a.m. data just dropped. That's the November leading index, came in line with estimates at negative 0.5%. So nothing happening there, a nothing burger on that print.
Misleading indicators.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
I just picked up 10 on that one.
Nice.
I do breadcrumbs. It's like a base hit, base hit, base hit, base hit, base hit. And then
those are, I mean, if you're not catching a piece of the trend and you're scalping 10 lots, I mean, that's a great way to make a nice day for yourself.
10 lots would be nice, but that was just a one lot.
Sorry, 10 handles, 10 handles.
10
sorry.
handles. Look at you talking handles. I think, did you trade in the pits?
No, I didn't.
You got the lingo, you got the auction process down. You did all that.
I have a very, I'm very passionate about this stuff. I love the markets. I can sit here and talk to this. It's funny. I started the clubhouse about a year ago. I was mentoring a lot of friends before that because I've been trading for so long. They all knew that I was a trader. And, I just get talking to my wife about things. She's just like, would you shut up about the markets and just go talk to some people who want to hear about this stuff? Because I could just ramble on about the markets.
How the hell do you talk about the markets with your wife? Mine just asked me if I was up or down by the end of the day.
She put up with it for a little bit, but then, I could tell she's getting tired of it. So put that on other people.
You got us, and that clubhouse sounds like an awesome experience for anybody. So you guys put that link to Rips Market Clubhouse. Love the name too.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, if you just go on YouTube, you search Market Clubhouse, 2 words, it'll pop right up. And we stream live every single morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. And the difference between us and other streamers is that I actually stream the position from start to finish all live. I'm not the kind of guy who's going to put on a trade, wait for it to be in the profit, 10 handles, and then show you when I'm in the profit. I'm going to show you the moment I take on the trade, talk behind the entire process behind it, go through where I'm going to enter, where I'm going to exit. There's no pulling the wool over the eyes and no trying to, do that whole thing that you see from other YouTube streamers out there.
That is smart.
Complete transparency. That's what we got here.
Yeah. Yes.
You want to be transparent because if you're not, you're going to be misleading newer traders. Traders are
going to get a knock on the door with the CFTC if you're misleading. I mean, let's be honest here. Like they watch you, they watch us, and you can't mislead. We're all in this together. The name of the game is try to be as transparent as you can and explain things out. So yeah, any influencer kind of hides stuff or does stuff. That's why we're always telling anybody who talks about their trading, what account are you trading in? You just said what account you're trading in. You have to say what account you're trading in. Is it sim? Is it live? Both of them you're going to teach on whether you make money or lose money. And people like that, that's good for everybody. So that transparency is very good. I'm glad to hear you do that.
Yeah. And, there's just not a lot of value for newer traders if they're looking to learn how to trade and they're seeing somebody who's always showing a position that's in the profit, never showing you their losses. And there's just no value in that as a newer trader. And you don't want to, you only have so many hours in the day to watch along with somebody and learn from somebody. So your time should be valued. And if somebody's pulling the wool over their eyes, they're basically pointing at you and calling you stupid. And you don't want to spend your time with somebody who's going to be disrespectful to you like that.
No. So you don't sit on Lambos and take pictures and have
that's not my speed. No.
I mean, I don't know how that motivates anybody when you see that. You're just like, I get where you're like, I want to get to like having more a lifestyle that's more than the life. Like I got in the trading business because I wanted to have a path to a better lifestyle. It's a big vision at Topstep, helping people have that path. Whether it's like now I can afford my air conditioner. I never had an air conditioner in my house, or now I can take the family to Disney World, or now I can, buy something even bigger, that I want to do, or all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I was never really misled by that. I was always focused on the grind because I was always kind of passionate about trading. So
it's tough now with social media. Social media makes it so difficult. There's so many charlatans out there and people who will sell you the dream on everything. Anybody who comes in and is looking to, they'll come into my channel and say, I can quit my job in a year, right? No. I mean, I went on 2 years of tilt, early on in my trading career. So it's like, if you think that you're going to be rich overnight by trading, pick a new profession, because it's not it. Because if you don't have a passion for this, if you don't have a lifelong journey kind of mindset for trading, you will never make it in trading. This is a long process, and you need to have a real passion for it if you want to have success in it.
I think it's every day is a new. It's a great process, but there are, like you said, 3 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, no steps back. But it's always just like, and then you just got to manage your emotions, your risk, your account management, and then figure out, how you can keep consistently adjusting and staying in tune with the market, with the changes of volatility. All this stuff's going on, and then at the end of the month, you got to be able to take money out of the account to be able to call that your primary and only income, which, again, going back to what you said, you don't want to do until you are able to do that enough times month over month over month. But we're making new lows right now, so enough of that.
Yeah, I was just watching that. I kind of want to find a short here, actually, as I was looking for a bounce up towards 80, but we're taking a lot of these bids. They're showing some firm bids here below 80s, and we're actually sweeping them right now.
Taking the liquidity.
Exactly. So I'm looking to see if we get a little bit of a bounce here up to the 80s that I could short into here. So I'm just watching.
You brought back brick by brick. Remember, we used to talk about doing it brick by brick. You can't build a house all at once. You got to do it brick by brick. Trading is the same way.
Absolutely. You have to start with a really solid foundation. If you try to start building the pool first and the windows up at the top floor, then you're going to end up with no house at all.
Yeah. Solid foundation. Exactly. Solid foundation. You build that. Everybody here that's listening, you build a solid foundation, discipline. You tune in here. You listen to what we just talked about today. You start to build that as your foundation, not looking at the Lambos, not looking at how much money you can make, not looking at all this kind of stuff. That foundation is so instrumental. It's like golf. Once you focus on the fundamentals.
I'm short here, by the way, MP. I'm short here on this flush.
Nice move. Okay. You're falling out of bed right now.
Yeah, it's running down. We're looking for this 53 encroachment here to the downside. See if I can add into this here. Watching for 65. Adding into that there for this break of 60 now. Looking to cover for the break of 60. Watching here. 65s are weak.
It feels
adding again for the break of 60 here.
It feels much weaker than it was sitting in that sideways range up there, guys. If you can feel that, I watched the dome. It looks like Rips does as well. And you get a feel for the dome. This market does a little dance. The NASDAQ dances really fast.
Watching here at the 70s now. Watching for a break again at 65, adding into that break.
I got short a 1 lot. I want to be a part of your
I love it.
Get into the party.
Get into the party. Dip a toe in the water with you.
Covering a little slice here because we're not breaking just yet. Got 2 more as a runner. Nice flush. Covering that there.
That was a good flush. I'm about going to get out. Yeah, I was light and tight.
Put us up $3,100 there on that nice little micro flush there.
That is, see, that's good. That's, you add to winners, sounds like.
You have to, you have to. And you have to have that trade plan of looking where you're going to have these bounces, where they're weak bounces, where you can have liquidity pulls. You want to be keeping this in mind the moment that you put on that trade. You don't want to be putting on a trade and have no idea where it's going to go.
Yep.
No.
That was
a nice pull down here. We're watching at 54 now. 54s are they're selling 54s. So now we watch for whole numbers, right? 55s, are they going to entertain 55s or 50s? Might actually put another 2 lot on here. Watching this closely here. Taking 2 more short here.
43s down here is a little volume spike.
Yeah, I like this though. As long as we're weak below 50s. I'm adding into that again there. Weak below 50s.
Are you still liking from the short side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I kind of like what you're seeing.
and covering 2 here. Looking for this 45 encroachment to pull. I want to see 50s weak again here.
You want to see a week, huh? When you covered, I was actually getting long just to one guy. I see it firming up just a little bit.
Gotcha. So watching here for 50 weakness, we have a 50 flush adding into this again. There's that 50 flush adding into that and covering right there. Beautiful. Yes. Perfect trade right there. So we're up 3,400 now, 3,400.
I scratched mine.
I've always been a longer time frame trader, but I feel like I'm missing a lot of the fun.
So yeah, we picked up 45s there, MP, by the way. This might be a good look now for your long. I'm not going to take it, but
I don't like this entry right here, so I'll hold it unless it gets below the 50s for a little poke the head below the 50s. I'm not.
Yeah, they're trying to rustle some jimmies down here. It's confirmed.
Yeah, I'm trading for the sake of trading at this moment in time, so I'm going to be a little more cautious. Even though it's pulled out of this little range that we were in when we were talking about the 5-minute range, and we were talking about fiddling in the middle and all that kind of stuff. It's now poked its head back down there. John, how is this setting up for you as far as when you're looking at the S&P, the 30-minute? Is this what type of market condition are we in? Market state, sideways right now. It's not trending anything anyway, right?
Well,
if you're looking at your 30-minute.
I mean, we're inside the value basically from yesterday. If yesterday had a value, we're inside of it. It fell out of bed, so it's out of balance and still out of balance. Then there's a lot of repair that can happen, inside of the range from yesterday. So my plan for today was maybe take the opening range trade if it wasn't too expensive. It was kind of big, so I didn't do it, and we were focusing on the NASDAQ with rips and everything. So I haven't done anything yet. Like I said, I look for longer, bigger opportunities. I feel like I'm missing a lot of the fun on the short time and rips. I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about I know your auction theory and all that, but what kind of time frame charts you're looking at. But right now, my plan is let the initial balance establish itself, establish some ranges, and then I can kind of look at those extremes to see if there's opportunity on either of the extremes of the initial balance.
Yeah, so I'm a momentum trader. I used to trade small caps during the COVID cycle, so that allowed me to, with a larger account, I could pretty much make a market on very thin names, very small floats on those stocks. So I learned very quickly how to bully some shorts in that, and small caps. You can learn how to make a market and just really mess with people. Not you're not spoofing or anything, but you can show a huge bid, take a little bit of that liquidity, flash it through, and then you're the person dumping on people who thought that liquidity is going to hold. There's certain things that you can do that carry over into the futures market. Obviously, when we're trading on combines here, it's in a simulated environment. But once we go into a live account here, I'm not going to be able to do anything that's going to be able to move the markets, obviously, with a 15 lot, obviously.
Right.
But, it's being able to watch what those players who can actually move the market with 50 lots, 100 lots, and seeing how their intentions are pairing out in the market here. And that's what I'm watching for here across the tape. And that's what's directing my trades, is that I know how my mindset worked when I was scalping in those situations. And I have to understand how those, number one, we're looking at algorithms that are trading this. And number two, we're looking at the humans that are trading this in real time. And so we have, a mixture of these things, and we're looking for how are they pushing liquidity? How are they pulling it in certain areas? These are key levels, like we talked about, that 87.25 level, big key level. Once we're flushing that, it's pretty likely we're going to pull bids there. And that's why we go short in that area. And then we're watching how much are they stacking these bids in this liquidity? Are they bringing more volume in? Are they stacking up because they want to pool this liquidity to take it long? You're asking yourself all these questions as the trade is unfolding. And you want to have this constant dialogue with yourself when you're in a trade like that. And that's why, MP, I hate to say it, when you were long in that play there, that was just a stop sweep right above the 50s. And I added into that for that pullback to the downside there. And that's kind of a classic move that they'll pull, where it's not going to be on that first move to the top side. It's going to be that pump fake where they sweep liquidity. They pop those stops of those people who are already taking that and then sweeping it back down, borrowing that liquidity, and then taking it back up higher.
It got 100%. I call it head fakes. It's the same thing. Pump fake, head fake, same thing. That's what happened. You got short right there. I was liking the long, but then I got shaken. People always correct me. Shaketh.
Shook it
out of it. Yeah, and it was a one lot, and I wasn't looking to get into it too much. And then you were talking about the downside, but it did that little pump fake to the downside, got every. And ripped through some stops, whomever that was weak on those,
right,
or tight on those. And I was one of the guys that just. But I'm okay with that.
We were talking about that 87 quarter up here. We're now pushing up mid 80s here. So you want to be, head on a swivel here, watching 87 quarters and seeing how are they going to handle this 87 quarter again? Are we going to run into liquidity? Are they going to sweep and pop stops to the top side? You also have to understand there's going to be some covers for people who took this long in this minor cup pattern here to the downside. So a lot of liquidity was being purchased from 53 all the way down to 43. So you have to keep that in mind. Was that liquidity all folks covering their shorts, or was that liquidity people going long there and gathering that liquidity to take for a flip up to the top side here? Tell yourself these stories when you're in these trades. It'll make more sense of why this liquidity is pushing and pulling.
John, this is one of the smartest guys we've had on the show. I swear to God. How you talk about you're giving us your stream of consciousness, and that's what we try to do down here or on here is give that stream of consciousness. And you're always talking about that understanding it the best you can on everything is happening, especially if you're watching momentum, market flow, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, man.
I appreciate that. I think it's a lot better to spend your time in the mornings with somebody who can talk about their thought process rather than being like, wow, look, we're at the 80s and it might go to the 90s or it might go to the 70s. Like, what are you talking about? That kind of trash.
I like how you brought your own little beeper in with you. That was awesome.
I like to keep it clean. There's no reason to swear at your audience every other word.
Right. We are allowed to say the S word. We can say the S word. That's our little pact that we said to each other when we started. Now, every now and then the F word gets in there, but it's by accident, and we don't. We know, like an unwritten rule that is also written, to not say a lot of those. So,
yeah, there's a wonderful woman who watches my streams, and she has her, I believe, 12-year-old son who's learning how to trade. And she said, I love Rips your stream because you always keep it clean. I don't have to worry about you swearing like those other knuckleheads out there.
So those, I was long. Go ahead, Johnny.
Rips, so your short time frame trades you're largely just kind of looking at order flow, right?
Yeah, order flow and areas of structure that make sense, and then keeping a keen watch on the order flow. God bless me with a photographic memory, so I can see. I used to trade off a footprint chart and just a dome, right? And so you could see when orders are being added and removed. And it's one of those things where I'm watching the order flow specifically, and I'm seeing when they're pulling bids of certain areas, and I'm keeping that kind of in my implicit memory as I'm watching. And as those bids are moving and shaking around, that's kind of giving me, okay, now we're going to go long here. Now we're going to flip it up to the top side because they're going to firm up 10 handles higher. And then I'm going to flip it up to them, maybe flip it back short. Again, it's watching this order flow, getting into this dance of the market. It's this beautiful flow. It's like this beautiful dance that you can be a part of. And that's what momentum trading to me, at least, is all about. Dude,
you are hands down, like wildly, like well-rounded as a trader. John, I'm sorry. Who goes to Joseph says I'm in love. I'm fascinated by people that you can tell they're so passionate. They read the markets, they understand them so well, and they will never tell you here's what's going to happen or anything. They are always just dissecting what's happening, what is happening. John and I do it all the time. The show's about doing it. Rips, man, I'm liking this. I never traded with you before. This is great.
Well, I hope we can trade again, more than this.
We're done. We're done after this. You crushed it. You guys, if somebody does worse than me, then I invite them back. No, I'm joking. But absolutely not. You're a big partner of ours. You're a big partner of ours. You got a life account coming. We treat the live funded traders as our Red Bull athletes. If Topstep is Red Bull, we look for Red Bull athletes, those live traders, which are now starting to get a bit more partners doing it. Love the fact that Rips is at the live level, which is incredible. Guys, it's very hard to go from combine to XFA to then trading well in the XFA and then to get called up to live. Now, you get paid the same no matter what if you're XFA or live, but the live traders are the ones who are like, no more sim. We want you trading live capital, real trades, going to the real exchange. You're a professional trader with the CME, with our prop firm. So, yeah, there it is. Rips right
Yeah,
there.
and then it was great too, getting called up to live. That those XFAs I traded, they did my trader card. I posted that on my Twitter. By the way, my handle is @SellingRips, just one word on Twitter, on Instagram. You can follow me there. And then our YouTube channel, of course, Market Clubhouse. Go to YouTube, just search Market Clubhouse, 2 words. But I posted that on my Twitter where, you folks here featured my trading card. And the interesting thing to note, again, for you newer traders who are looking to learn this process, you don't want to follow somebody who got one lucky day under their belt and had a 15 lot long, and then they just got lucky. And then maybe you guys were kind of reluctant to call that person up to live. And then they had 10 back to back max loss days.
Right.
You want to practice consistency. When I got called up to live, my stats were 17 days out of 18 trading days were profitable days. I had one losing day. That's consistency. And that's what you want to look for in a trader.
That's why we don't tell people it's kind of our proprietary thing. We look at all your data. We look at all your history. We look at how many times you reset. We look at how many times you've blown accounts. We look at all that, but then we do it in a way that our guys know risk management, and they have kind of like just real passion for finding the talent. It's really no different than being a major league scout and you're going down to the Costa Rica or wherever you find a lot of these kick-ass talent that they're just playing park ball and all that kind of stuff. So that's the really exciting part about you getting called up, because that means a lot it should mean a lot to your entire community, to a lot of people out there, because there's thousands and thousands of people trading on Topstep. And I think we only have about 100 or 200 or 300 live funded traders. We have thousands of XFAs, thousands. Then we have much more thousands in the trading combine. But the best of the best, the 1% are at that live level, and you made it. So kudos to you, my friend.
I appreciate that so much. And yeah, it says a lot. And it's validation that you're looking for as a trader sometimes too, where, even if you have, like I had my stats, 17 days that were winning days out of 18 trading days before I got called up, even having those types of stats, sometimes it's nice to have that extra pat on the back and get that call up to live. It's having that prestige and knowing that you're actually doing something right here.
Yeah. And we're going to make you, when I say you, all the live traders, more and more spotlighted next year. We'll be starting a Topstep trading league, TTL, think the NFL. Individuals like yourself will be able to pick a team, whether you're a partner of ours or a live trader, and you want to be a team captain. There's going to be a performance bonus if your team, to you as an individual, if your team wins the World Cup. We're looking at what that looks like, the amount of money we're going to do. It's kind of like if you win the Super Bowl and you're Tom Brady, you probably put that into your contract. We're looking at that kind of stuff because we really believe that working together like this right now and training together is pretty cool. So we're looking to put that together. But the point of the story is once you make a live trader and you as a influencer or a leader in the futures trading space, we want to partner up with you guys and say, hey, you guys want to create a team, and we're gonna talk about that team here on Topstep TV. Think ESPN, think TTL, NFL. We're gonna talk about the players in the league, and then the head coaches of the league. Rips is head coaching 5 other traders, and the blah 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 blah. Here's their names, and he likes them because of this, and this. And this kind of stuff to me is what I'm going to put the investment in Topstep, and to create this community even tighter. And then we went and looked at an esports arena down in Vegas because these esports arenas are starting to pop up. We're like, why can't Topstep, or why can't a trading T League, or T Sports or whatever, follow into these type of arenas? And then we go get together and we have fun, and it becomes like the trading pit of brothers in arms, so to speak, or camaraderie. So that's the whole big spiel that I'm going on, and hopefully someday here very soon you have a team. If you want.
That sounds amazing too. And it's a lot of people don't realize, but trading is so much more than people understand. That it's psychology based, right? Trading is so psychology based. It's easy to find setups. It's easy to push buttons. But at the end of the day, you really want to be focused on psychology. And when you're talking about trading leagues like this, it's so important to recognize the folks that are putting in the work, putting up consistently profitable days, so that other folks can see what else out there is possible. We need to stop that narrative of that you should be YOLOing in 15 contracts at a time and just trying to just blow these accounts until you get one lucky hit. We got to stop that narrative, and we got to move towards this being consistently profitable narrative.
It's an evolution of the funding industry. I started it back in 2009. It did not exist. I'm very passionate about this space. And there's been a change in style of traders that have come into. You have a little bit more yellowers. Those will filter out when they find out all you're doing is just gambling. You're not learning shit. So
Yeah.
That's an evolution that I think it's going to be starting to happen, especially as some of these marketing companies that I like to call them start to filter out and come in here and offer like a little bad habit or selling FOMO or the extrapolation fallacy stuff. I am passionate about building a stronger community that helps people on all the things that you just said, everything you said in the morning about auction process and order flow, all that stuff. That is just stuff that you should be, as a newbie, it's harder for newbies to do, but intermediate or whatever, somebody's in this for a couple of years, to hang on every word of that and just like take notes and try to understand it. And then it just becomes a most kick-ass community ever of people if we're all doing that.
Absolutely. And, just to touch on those other guys, those other funding companies with those ridiculous rules, maybe those ones that have the trailing drawdowns that are mid position where it forces you to be a gambler. I took a 5-figure payout from them and I never used their accounts ever again because it's not real trading. Topstep is the closest you'll ever get to trading your own real money. And I can speak from having a long career in trading futures with my own real money. It's the closest thing you'll get to trading your own real money. And if you don't like the drawdown rule, you don't like the maximum daily loss rule, you got to understand that Topstep is putting that in place to help you out. Because if you don't have that, I didn't have that when I was trading. And if I would have had a maximum daily loss limit, I guarantee you I would have not had such massive losing days. It's there to help you as a trader. It's there to tell you, hey, pump the brakes. You're not going to blow your account yet. You still get another day to trade tomorrow, but you're going to be able to pump the brakes, relax, recover, get your psychology back in line. There's no other funding company out there that's doing that. And that's why, you guys are the best.
I do like, Earn to Trade I like, Trade Day I like. Those two, I really like those folks over there. And I talk to those guys. There's ones that I don't like. I don't like Lilo. I don't like Apex. Those are the two ones. They're gamey. They sell raffle tickets, so to speak.
Raffle tickets, I like
that. Yeah. And you can't go live with you can't go live with 20 accounts. It's just like, you can't, like, that's not real trading. And then, so I'm not going on those rants. I do it way too much, but I do like Trade Day.
I don't blame you though. I go on the same rants in my live stream. I have the same passion as you.
You're passionate about it. Like Trade Day's cool. Earn to Trade, I like those guys. Earn to Trade was the second one. So I remember they popped up in 2016.
They've been in the game for a hot minute, yeah?
Yeah, they popped up in 2016. Somebody pings me and goes, hey, we got a copycat. We used to call them copycats. And then we realized, oh, this is an industry. This is an industry that's forming. And it's really cool to create the industry and start it. But then it's like a little odd to see the direction that they were. And I was just on the phone with the FTMO guys. These guys are badass too. A couple weeks ago, talked to them a handful of times, especially as all this MFF stuff's come out. And they understand the space extremely well. They understand the why. They lead with education. They direct people in a positive way. Trade Day does, Earn to Trade does, and things like that. These other ones, I can't get on board with. The only thing I can get on board with is thank you for keeping people in a simulated environment as they're developing, because that is what we need more of, is keeping people, getting them comfortable with a sim environment, and then moving them to live. But to keep, so.
The whole process that we have, as the opportunity of people who trade on Topstep, the whole environment that you have set up here is just incredible. Think about it. You get a chance to trade the real markets with actual liquidity, and you're getting a shot at actually trading it. Your downside is what, $49? My downside when I was trading futures was tens of thousands of dollars, and I hit that downside often, and it was very expensive. If I'm not mistaken, it was what, 30K 3 times for UMP?
Yep. $30,000 real money, not 3K. Like we used to have $30,000 real money accounts. I started in 97, got caught in a pump and dump. I had a vending company that had like 80 accounts, and I was bringing in like $1,500 a week, clearing $1,500 a week as a 18-year-old kid. So like, you go 30 weeks, which is not even a full year. I got 30 grand. So I was just dumping that in the markets thinking I was a hot shot, big swings, but I ended up blowing up everything.
Right. Yeah. And that's the story for most people. It's called market tuition for a reason, and it's dang expensive. It's more expensive than a Harvard degree, right?
You should never have to pay that high of a tuition to learn the markets, and that's why I wanted to create a safe environment. Again, really quickly, I feel like we got to get back to the markets, but I lost three $30,000 trading accounts. Graduated from college, had no money, and had to sell the vending company to pay off the last one line of credit that I actually put on against my inventory on trading, and then now I'm dead broke. I'm in Chicago. I'm 24 years old, and then I got a job with a prop firm that put me on a simulator and said $300 daily loss limit. When it hits, you're deactivated for the entire day. And that's where I learned the importance of simulated trading. That's where I learned the importance of having a room of traders, because there's a room of traders. We were all doing the same thing. This is an 02. And then I took that concept, because that's where I learned the foundations of trading, because I wasn't chasing my money. I was learning from having the respect for the downside with the discipline. And that's where my foundation got built. But I was baptized hella hard by that 90 grand that I lost prior. A lot of people, we get emails from a lot of people, 100,000, 200 $1 million losses in trading. You shouldn't have to do that, but people think that tuition is the rite of passage. It's not. The funding opportunities that go back to all of them. Thank you guys for all of them, for keeping people in a simulated market, so at least they learn in a safe environment. So that's the last one.
Can I say something?
Please do, John.
For all of you that are saying that I'm quiet today, I'm trying to give Rips an opportunity. You guys hear enough from me. I want to hear from Rips.
I appreciate that, John.
Johnny isn't all day. Johnny's a bell to beller, and I got to commend you, John.
Appreciate that.
We do have the Natty Gas inventory coming out in 10 seconds here, by the way.
Okay. It pivoted off the 27s up there. If you looked at my order up here, I got short 26s, but then I covered right away just because we were talking and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
but
weekly kickoff high was a little bit of resistance up there, wasn't it?
Minus 87 cubic feet versus a minus 85 read. So 2 points hotter or cooler than expected.
Yeah. Rips, you are a breath of fresh air to the retail community. Yeah. That's what so that's a lot.
Appreciate that, MP. I mean, you guys are a breath of fresh air to the funding community.
Well, I just repeated what somebody said in the chat.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
David said that, and I agree with David. Credit goes to David.
So we are pushing back up here. You can see we kind of double bottomed here at the 75 level. We're talking about 875 here in the NAS. We are below the 50 on the SPY here, but we are kind of collecting some liquidity. So this, again, could be this push and pull in the market where we've drawn down. We could be making a higher low here, which basically means what? If we're looking at charting perspective, everybody knows, oh, it's a higher low. But what does that actually mean? It means that the auction tried to seek a lower price, and there was enough buyers that we tried to find a lower price. So many buyers showed up. They said, all right, heck with it. We're not going to offer it any lower right now. You guys are all demanding the price to be at this level. We'll go ahead and sell it to you here until our inventory runs out, and then we'll run it higher. So we'll see if this higher low holds here. It's basically around 872, 875.
Mm-hmm. Somebody was asking about how my phone call yesterday, with important phone call about somebody who wants to get really serious about TopstepTV because they see the future of it. It's a big company, so we're pretty excited. We're pretty excited about that. They're cool guys. I've met them multiple times.
I think 2024 is going to be an amazing year. I'm seeing so many people that were traders that were either in equities or options or, small cap equities. And you're just seeing a lot of these folks now are just getting killed by their brokers that are scamming them on these small cap shorts. Yep. And, they're seeing the light. They're saying, wow, this is a very regulated market. I can get in for as low as $49 to learn the markets. I don't have to be blowing my own money into the market. And then I can, actually have a market that functions every single day. You're not sitting there and waiting and being like, oh, I hope that a small cap is up 300% so I can short it. And
or some news comes out on my stock. Yeah. So that 2024 will be a big year. Like going back to all this, go with a company that's going to help you get better as a trader, not going to feed that like get rich quick mentality. So I mentioned a couple of the other ones too. I have no problem. If you guys want, people go around the horn. I call it going around the horn. They go to other ones, and then we want them to stay. They come for the funding, but we want them to stay for the community and the development. That's really our anchor statement, because we know people come into the space for the funding. Okay, cool. But the funding, you're going to find out really quickly, is going to take a little bit to get yourself consistently profitable, blah, blah, blah.
And if you just interject here, Mike, if you're rushing to that step of where you want to get funded, You finally get that funded account and you sit there and you go, okay, now what? You haven't really gone through the fire and the flame to learn the process to where you're actually going to pull money from the market. So taking it slow during that stage of learning the funding process is one of the most keystone things that you can do to be a profitable trader when you finally get to the funded stage. So don't rush that process. If it takes you 10 weeks, 9 years, whatever the case, don't rush that process. Take your time doing it.
So go to companies that are going to invest in your community or helping you develop. Topstep dropped our price this year to $49. We should have probably dropped it sooner, but we dropped it to $49. Huge influx of people came in. Topstep TV starts. We make no money off this. It cost me probably $1 million a year at least to run this, if not more, that we're going to put into it next year. The Topstep Trading League. I didn't need to start this. I didn't need to have a production or a meeting with my product team and say, hey, let's do all this and just keep throwing money at the community. I wanted to, because I'm like, hell, I have fun with this. This has been a very, very exciting, one of my most exciting days since Topstep TV started, because I find somebody that has the passion, that sees the market. I could talk to you for days. I could trade with you for days, and I could grab a beer with you and whatever, the community is out there. You see more and more of those type of people that are starting to filter to the top. And then the sludge, so to speak, will go over to the Lambo Instagram places and follow those, which is totally fine. I want to create a community and be a part of that with you and others that think the same. And I'm willing to invest in it. Topstep has the luxury that we're going to be able to do that. And I don't have to do that. I'm doing it because I believe in it. So that's Topstep TV. It's been out for like 90 days. It's the first of it. And having you on here is great. And John, I am talking way too much, so go ahead.
It's okay. That's all right. I guess I've been replaced. Rips, he's yours.
He does feel a little bit like Johnny Knowledge, but yeah.
So it looks like we did actually make a higher low there. They did encroach back over the 90s. We're trading 900 evens and above here. So it is interesting to note that we have made that higher low. We sought liquidity lower. We just couldn't find it lower for now. So what we're looking for, if you want to take a breakout trade, is probably encroachment back over 930 here. Above 930, you're going to be tickling into that 41 range that we talked about earlier. We had that overhead supply that's been there, that's been sitting there. We blew through that. We're going to have stops being popped. And by golly, we'll probably hit 974 today.
Hell yeah. So we're getting poked and prodded by our incredible behind the scenes team. If you guys don't get our likes up there, John and I are going to officially quit. If you get our likes, get our likes up there so Rips can come back. He's coming back regardless. But if you're enjoying it right now, give us some likes just so we can help out that algo. So then other newbie traders see it pop up on their YouTube and they go, holy shit, what's this? And they come on here and they hear Rips talking and they go, I want to be a part of this game.
If you need incentive, 2,000 likes. Hogue does the handlebar mustache, right? 3,000 likes, pass it. And the coveted
growing it.
4,000 likes. Michael will sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer live on TV. 3,365 people watching. Oh, we just crossed 1,000 likes. Keep it going. I want to hear that. I want to hear those smooth tones.
Okay, Johnny handlebars are coming. That means you got to shave the bottom, right? And then just handlebars. You're not growing handlebars. You
can do a handlebar with a beard.
Oh, come on. That's
MP,
cheap.
are you trying to catch up to Mick over there with your stash?
You see this? I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming in.
It's that's about as far as I can grow it. All I did was take this stuff down a little bit and go a little wee on everybody. But yeah.
Hogue, have you been doing any waxing that mustache at all yet?
No, not yet. Just growing it out. It's getting there. It's getting pretty close.
MP, I have a great idea for a possible challenge for likes in the future.
You ready? I'm all ears. Yes.
I want you to tweet at someone famous that is known to clap back at people that say something bad about them. Like, I want you to tweet at Kevin Durant and say that he's washed. How many likes we need for that?
I would do that. I would do that for a couple thousand likes for sure.
Okay.
I'm not a social media guy because it gets me sick, and then I don't think they're gonna like, who's this guy with 800 followers or some bullshit like that.
He'll
kind
respond.
of a nobody. So if you think it's gonna work, then I'm definitely down to try. I don't really value my social handle as much as probably Rips does or anything like that.
All right, we'll work on this.
But I'm down with that. Okay, so guys, we're talking right now because the market's kind of going a little sideways. Now it is moving. 10 handles, 20 handles in this little
it's a big range. This is a big area of liquidity. This is kind of the top end of that volume shelf that exists. Again, it's a big range here, 77 all the way up to 907. And that's a big volume shelf that we have there that's kind of chopping around in that range. So, as long as we're sitting in here, it's likely we're going to continue this sort of market maker session here for the time being. If you're going to put on trades, you got to be kind of scalpy.
It is a big initial balance that has not been exceeded on either side yet. So, like we said this morning with the opening range trading both sides, it's setting up for a range day.
Right. Yeah, we call these market maker sessions. Range days, market maker sessions. It's if you don't want to get rinsed, then you just don't play today. I mean, that's the game right there.
Yeah, you don't want to rinse, repeat.
Yeah, and then
like today.
Rinse and reset. You don't want to be doing that.
That's very good.
It's important too for newer traders to pay attention to how much volume is being contracted in these areas too. On lower volume, lower liquidity sessions, all it takes is one or two large players to really stir the pot. So you have a large player coming in and they basically say, hey, algorithm, we're going to sell everything below VWAP or TWAP. We start selling that as a program and we do it aggressively. There's algorithms that have been written that can do a lot of different things. And if there's large players that are running those algorithms right now, it's very difficult to kind of read the market when we're in a low volume area, right? So if we have low volume, we have low liquidity, you generally want to be sitting on your hands in that type of market. When we have a very efficient and liquid market, that's generally when you want to step in. It's a lot easier to predict where the market's going to go when we have liquidity versus when it's scant liquidity like this.
And volume's already lower because we're coming into the holidays.
Exactly right. Yeah. And the closer we inch towards the holidays and the next week, this week is actually the final full week that we have of 2023 here. Yeah. This is the final full trading week. Next week, we only have 4 days and then we're going to skitter on into 2024 there. So it's shaping up to be something here. And I don't know if you folks are newer out there, not you guys, obviously, but anybody who's watching here on TopstepTV, if you folks are newer out there, January and February present some of the best opportunities in the futures market for the most part, coming into that contract roll when we go into the March and we expire the March and go into the next contract. So we get some really fantastic opportunities. So if you're feeling like you have FOMO right now, you're feeling left out, maybe you missed that big flush yesterday, pump the brakes. It's okay. Enjoy the holidays. January, February are going to bring a lot of liquidity back into this market, and it's going to tell a whole new story for us.
Yeah, review last year's performance, aka this year. All your trading, your journals. Hopefully, you're doing all that. If you're not journaling, set a goal that you're going to journal every day you trade. If you're not reviewing your past performance, you're not going to know what to work on in your future performance. And then set yourself up for that first of the year. And then you got your Januaries and Februaries. January doesn't really start getting going until the second half of the month. In my history, because you got your Hamptons, you got your New Yorkers, your big money movers that their kids are still, home, and they start to leave and go back to, just like summer quiets up because they do the big money players that move things. That's my take. But yeah, I do agree. February and March has been great trading. October and November has always been great trading.
Oh yeah, I mean, I always say October through March is that's my jam right there. That's if I look at the last 10 years of my trading, that's historically when I've had the most profitability. My best trade was in January of all time. Best trade ever was options and GameStop. 7-figure trade was just nutso.
Yeah, starting off the year with a killer day.
It was lucky, It's just pure luck. It was pure luck. And, being in the right place at the right time and having the market that we had, which, by the way, is just, a lot of folks are continually asking you, when is the COVID market going to come back? When's that going to, you're going to be waiting for a long time, unfortunately. So that's another reason to kind of focus your future, your trading on futures, because the market that we get in futures every single day is amazing.
Yeah. It's like saying, when's the 08 market going to come back? 2008. I mean, that was an incredible trading year. Incredible. My best. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some presidential tweets market back here again, depending on how the election unfurls.
It depends how that unfolds, which is pretty interesting. It's good to watch. Don't get involved in the conversation with other traders, because traders shouldn't be talking about anything like that except understanding what's happening with politics affecting the economy and things to come.
Right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so we are kind of holding this range here still. This is 77.5 all the way up to 900 here. This is forming a little bit thicker of a volume shelf here. So there's really, again, not that many opportunities. What you're looking for in opportunities would probably be a break of the lows back down below 845 or a break above here into 930, looking for that encroachment back above 930, 941, top of that shelf. We break above 941, again, looking for trades into 974. And above 974, you get that encroachment above that into 17,000, potentially 17,013 and a quarter. So that's kind of where my eyes are for right now. And, I'm flat. I haven't traded in probably about 20 minutes here. So I haven't found any really nice opportunities. The only one I really liked was that long, but I didn't take it myself. That long where I said, hey, MP, you should probably flip long here. That was good for about 100 handles.
I came out of the gate nice and then sized down on a couple things because it was just getting really fluttery. So now I've been sitting for probably the same amount of time as you.
Yeah.
Which is great. See, like if we weren't talking, if you were just sitting here in your own office, listening to your desktop, fan, go, you would get the itchy finger. No doubt to put a bit more trades on. In the history of me, I know I would.
Yeah. I used to trade alone and it was miserable. And it wasn't until I started trading with a community and having friends that were also interested in trading the markets. Obviously, COVID helped a lot of that. That brought in so many people out of the woodworks who had never traded before. And that's where I started mentoring a lot of my close friends and family. And, it was an interesting time. You could throw a dart. I mean, look at Dave Portnoy. He picked Scrabble letters out of a bag, and he could pick a winner. It's an amazing market. It made everybody think they were a market genius. And now we've had the culling of the week. And now we see, the tide has gone back out and we see who can actually trade and who was just lucky during that time. And, it's a lot better trading with a community. And this is great that you guys have TopstepTV here. You guys have the Topstep Discord. It's just an amazing. I said this earlier at the top of the call. It's an amazing time to be a trader. There's no better time. Hope disagrees, but there's no better time to be a trader than now.
We're getting people tell me I need to send a contract.
No, I agree. I just had to get some more coffee.
So Rips, people are telling me I got to put you as a regular and I got to sign a contract with you. And we're signing more and more contracts for, like we did one with Deanna, we're doing one with Anne Marie, we're doing one with other people because we're finding out there's incredible talent out there and we want to lock them in on Topstep TV, which would be like a media network that we're really putting together, that then we bring in the top players, get them on here more, and you guys still have your channels and it still feeds you guys with your channel. So we're going to talk to you more about being on here as a regular.
Oh, right on. Love the sound of that. I'd love to continue to, share the dialogue that we've had on here so far. It's just been a lot of fun. I have a real passion for talking markets, and anytime that, we can share a like-minded conversation like this, I'm all for it.
And if I can help your community grow and your community can see this community, and then you're like, okay, then we all meet up in the Vegas Topstep Trading League World Cup, and you're like, oh, that's Rips and their community, and you guys all got the same gear on. I think it's gonna be.
That's awesome. I love that. I can already see it in my mind. That sounds amazing.
So, all right, guys, the markets are going sideways.
Yeah, there's really nothing happening in the markets. This, again, if you're feeling FOMO, which is, again, FOMO, fear of missing out. Somebody asked, what is FOMO? If you're feeling FOMO right now, close down your charts if you need to. If you're finding yourself that you're always pressing buttons, you're in trades like this, there's a lot of people who say, well, just trade in your sim. I think that breeds bad habits, because if you're trading in your sim, you're kind of building that muscle memory and that inclination to want to trade. You shouldn't have that. So close down your charts, close down your terminal, close down NinjaTrader, Quantower, Topstep X, whatever you're trading on. Topstep X, by the way, fantastic platform. Close down whatever you're trading on. Walk away and enjoy the rest of the day. Touch some grass or do whatever it needs to be done. Don't sit here and stew in FOMO, because you're going to drive yourself crazy. It's just not worth it.
Well said.
Yeah, if you're trading on a sim, it really does just kind of fuel that muscle memory of being like, okay, well, I got to press some buttons right here. Oh, it doesn't count because I'm in my sim. Well, before you know it, you take a couple good trades in your sim, and then now you're trading in your real account. And then the first trade you take on your real account, maybe you draw down some of your profits, you go in the red for the day, and now you're just in a whole just knot in your mind, and you don't know how to fix it. So don't be that guy or gal.
It's all about the consistency. It's all about the consistency. Traders ask me, how do I become a consistent trader? It's all in what you bring to the table when you sit down to trade. You need that consistency.
Jack, we got any news? Jack Dolby, who's on it? Robert, we got any news happening out there? We have any
Yeah,
in the social
James
world?
is on it today.
Right.
I
Moment.
sure
We're
do.
experimenting with some things back here.
Hey, just a comment. If I was in the trading combine, I'm trading live, but I would have succeeded in a 50K this week.
There you go. See,
Hey,
guys,
nice.
Consistency.
consistency.
I think I'm up like 17 out of the last 20 days.
Hell yeah, Johnny.
Wow. That's
awesome.
and that's what it's all about. You know, people get so focused on this dollar amount day by day. But if you
Right.
take a step back and you're pulling out money from the market and you're laying bricks, brick by brick by brick, you're taking it one step at a time. You look back after 2-3 months of time, you go, holy smokes, this is a heck of a lot of profit. It surprises a lot of newer traders out there that don't understand that brick by brick mentality. And again, I blame social media. There's some bad apples out there that 15 lots on, let's run it up. Oh, shoot, broke the account.
So we got a lot of people talking about fire drill and things like that. We will be giving away a bunch of shit here pretty soon. Not be honest, it's not going to be this week. So even if you guys are dropping right now because you're here for that, then
Well, hey, before anybody goes, we're actually having a great giveaway on my channel tomorrow at the
There you
Market
go.
Clubhouse YouTube live channel. I'm giving away 3 Top Step combines, and the only thing you have to do is just come stop by the stream. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and that's it. We're giving away 3 Top Step combines and also 5 free months of Clubhouse. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
There
about
you go.
that. That's going to be the Merry Ripsmas holiday extravaganza givewear.
I like it, guys. If that's appealing to you, which it is appealing to me, I would head over there too. We have no problem with that. We're confident enough in everybody's broadcast rips as well. So check that out tomorrow. Topstep will be doing a pretty massive one towards the beginning of the year. And we're figuring out, like I told you guys yesterday, a better process instead of saying, "Oh, fire drill's starting right now," and then they slam our servers, and you guys
Break the internet.
break the internet.
Yeah.
Happens multiple times when we've done that. And I came up with
well-
this idea rips of doing fire drill, and it breaks our servers. So it makes no sense to our marketing team that I quit, or tech team that I quit doing that.
Yeah, and while they seem simple, fire drills require a lot of work on our end to prepare and support. So we just want to make sure everyone's ready. So that
Oh,
you
that's
all
a great
have
hat there, MP.
experience.
Love that.
Yeah, Abby made this, one of our graphic designers. So hang around.
There we
But
go.
we got some
Thank-
cool news. I got some cool news stories for you. I got 3 things.
All right, cool. Rip them in here whenever.
Rip them up. Dolby, you want to go ahead and throw up that first one? Y'all ever had a test end early and you thought it wasn't fair? A group of South Korean students are suing the government because their college admission examination ended 90 seconds earlier than expected.
Oh,
Before you think that's a little crazy, these are one of the hardest exams in the world, and the stakes are incredibly high. It determines which university and jobs you can get, but even future relationships. If you don't do well on this test, you may not get married.
I mean, Jack knows because I talked about my ACT score. I would have loved it if they ended it 90 seconds early.
Same. And
Keep
this
in
thing
mind.
is so serious. They close the airspace around where they do the testing. Like, we only do that for the president, right? But
right.
yeah,
Wow.
39 students claimed that the bell rang earlier, so they're looking for some compensation for that. I would too. I mean, I hate testing, but if you can give me money out of it, sure. Talking about money. Look at this. A billionaire wants to bequeath his fortune to his
No.
gardener.
Come on.
$13 billion.
Holy smokes.
I don't know if he's getting all of it. Planning to leave him at least half of his $13 billion. So he wants to give him at least half. So
There's going to be a publicly traded landscaping company out there pretty soon.
Yeah.
Oh, God, for sure.
it was his former servant, gardener, and handyman. So
Wow.
Alfred to Batman, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, Jack. I like that. Totally, it can be definitely possible with that money.
I think Bruce would leave everything to Alfred if he had the chance. And then finally,
Nothing for Robin?
well, we don't like Drake. Tim Drake. Anyways, this one's funny. This woman creates a Christmas dinner for her entire family and charges it. So talk about inflation. They're going up this year too. She's raising her prices for her family. She made her relatives pay up to €15 while her youngest grandchildren got a €2.50 bill each.
Inflation, man.
This December, though, it's going up.
I
So
love it.
Huh.
bring a couple extra bucks when you go over to grandma's house this holiday season.
Usually grandmas give you a couple bucks for your birthday, but now I guess it's the tables have turned.
Don't forget
you
the
get the
tip.
check for
Swivel that
$12.
iPad around.
Right. Thanks, James.
Thanks, James.
Okay, so we're down here in the 74 range. What are you thinking, Rips?
Well, it's interesting. We're talking about this a little bit here. If we're not pulling back below 53.5 here, we have sort of, and you can probably see this on your volume shelf here, we're having a little volume shelf here betwixt 53 and 87.25. Same one we were talking about at the top of the call here. It's no surprise in a lower liquidity environment. This is what's going to be attractive. This is the area of liquidity that's going to be sticky. And we're going to continue to consolidate, up and down and around this range until we have a meaningful breakout. So it's going to take a larger player either going heavy bid side and really stacking up bids and pushing this price up and layering up on thin asks and letting this thing run, or it's going to take somebody really slamming the bid really, really hard and getting those bids to soften up and bring it down to the downside here. So, for me, it could go either way. And whenever the market can go either way, that's when I'm not in a trade. I'm hands off. I'm waiting for some confirmation. I'm not a gambler. I want to wait for true confirmation in the markets in order to enter in a trade, because I want to have my entire trade plan mapped out before the moment I even click that button. The worst thing you can do is press the button and then be thinking, okay, what's next?
Totally, guys. That's great insight. Roy, same. I'm right there with Chop. So,
yeah, you start taking stabs at stuff, and this is what happens to your account.
Yeah. I love this makeshift sandwich. Where's Eddie? What do we need him? Hey, Eddie, if you're listening,
I have
buddy,
a couple over here. Does this come in?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to take mine with me to the bathroom right now.
Yeah, so again, we're really just looking for that 53.50 to give out here on the NAS. Apple is kind of off a cliff here. If we're looking at the Magnificent 7 right now, Apple's the most aggressive to the sell side here. Microsoft's starting to give it up a little bit. So we are seeing softness in the market. If you're to, ask me, if you held a gun to my head, you said, where's the market going to end on the day here? It's looking to me like it's softening up here. If we break below on names like Apple, if we're breaking below, 194 evens. If we're breaking below Microsoft, we're below, 370 evens. Then we can start to skitter on to the downside. But until you have that confirmation, you still are kind of just throwing darts at a board here and just kind of guessing, because like I said earlier, on thin liquidity environments like this, it's a lot easier to manipulate the price and trick retail into a move. For instance, you bring down the price really fast, and their intention is to firm up those bids right below you, and you don't even see that coming as a retail trader. So traps abound. You have to be careful on moments like this.
Yep. So what levels are you liking down here again?
53.5. So 53.5, big level there. I want to see that if we actually snap through that. And what I want to see when I'm talking about snap through, I don't just want to take the first trade the moment that we barrel down through that level. I want to see a retest into the 53s, 55s, and see if we have sellers up there. If we have vehement, strong sellers at 53s, 55s, then I'm confident in taking it short, leading a leash, maybe 15 handles, 10 handles, like a 60 tick, 45 tick stop, something like that. That's what I'm looking for. A clear flush, a retest, sellers are present. Let's take it down lower. On the other side of the coin, looking for
Rips really quickly. Weather says, who is they?
Who's they? The market makers, people who are running the algorithms, people who are providing the liquidity. You have the big four banks, you have Sigma 2 partners, you have Citadel, you have all these liquidity providers. That's the they.
Yep. Okay.
People often ask that, and nobody answers that question for some reason. Who's the they? Well, it's the liquidity providers.
That's a great question. Okay, go ahead. Your second part of that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, if we firm up the bids at this level down here, that's the other side of the coin. And again, this is why I say we don't approach our trades with a bias. We come in with a clear mind, a clear head. We come down. If we are firming up bids here, let's just say we flash below 53.5. Now we find buyers down here. Are they strong? I want to see a retest at 53s and below and firm bids taking that up to the top side. And that's kind of what we saw on that trade where I was shorting into that break. I took my profit on it. You tried one long, it swept down low, knocked you out. And then that was the one where I was like, yo, MP, try a long here again. That's where we swept back high again.
Yep.
So look at the same kind of price action here on these lows. If anything deviates from that, there could be a trade presenting itself. But again, we're keeping an eye on volume here. And if we're dropping volume to the downside, what do we see? We see volume steadily declining here, steadily declining. So volume low, hands should be probably off the terminal for now.
Yep. Guys, nothing on our tilt. Nothing. Go ahead, John.
Just saying, just showing what he's talking about. This is the volume profile. volume declining at lower levels.
Right.
Volume. So it's going to take new business to push this market lower, which could very well happen. But so far, I mean, we're just kind of running out of volume on the lows here.
And that's something, you know, to touch on here for newer traders. Nobody is forcing you to press the buttons. And if you can find that patience within you to say, this is not a good environment to be trading. And I do understand that around the corner might be the best environment to trade. I just need to have the patience and the account there to trade it. That's it.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The more patient you are, the more ideas that you'll be able to trade in the future. The less patient you are, the more likely it is that you're going to blow your account. And that great opportunity is going to come with a great market environment, and you're just going to miss that trade.
So Rips, when you're looking at these at the day type that we're setting up today, I know you've read the books, you know the lingo. Yesterday we ended up putting on normal day in gold with the big initial bounce that we have in the NASDAQ today. There is the probability of a normal trading day where neither extreme of the initial balance gets extended.
Right.
Is that something that you're considering when you're looking at the price action down here? Is that going to be a factor in one of your trading decisions?
Yeah.
What about if it's cheap?
Yeah, that's the thing too. In a lower volume environment, when we have cheaper prices, you think that you want to barrel into that. I'm not going to do that until we have some players showing up, showing that they're willing to take sides of those areas if I'm looking to bounce trade here. So let's just say that we're, selling off back down towards that 760 level that we hit end of day yesterday. If we're looking to buy those lows at a cheaper price, I need to see other players that are interested in the same trade idea. If I don't see that, I'm not interested because again, low volume environment, not really interested in trading because the high probability trade is probably not going to be there. Conversely though, if we do have players showing up at big areas of liquidity, namely for stop runs, if we're going up to the top side and we're getting a lot of stops being popped for everybody that was short yesterday, that's a different trade. That's a momentum trade that I can get interested in. But if we're talking about something, a fade to the downside, firming up bids, I need to see a lot of contracts being pushed, held there at the bids there.
Yep.
Right. All right. Thank you.
It's so we've been talking this whole time. And it's kind of been going sideways, and now I'm like, well, I'm ready to trade, and you can't do that. So I'm glad we're having this because now I'm like, well, I haven't traded in like an hour or whatever, and now then the market hasn't done anything. So not trading is being a trader, not trading is trading, or whatever you want to call it. So
you don't want to get caught in this idea that because you're a trader, you have to always be trading. That's not the right thing to do.
Here's a really good way to look at it too. Let's imagine that you're playing blackjack in Vegas, right? And I hate to use gambling analogies for this, but just give me some rope here. Let's say you're at a blackjack table and you're playing and you're doing really, really well. And the dealer says to you that anytime that I don't get 21, you win. You're going to sit there and play at that table for that rule set for the longest time possible. Now, let's say that they go to you and they say, the only way that you can win a hand is if you hit your hand to 17. If you go above 17, you bust. If you go below 17, you bust as well. You can only win on a 17. Are you going to sit there and continue to play at that table with that rule set? Of course you aren't. So when the market environment is not setting up for you in an advantageous way, you want to think about, am I being presented with a good market to trade, or am I being presented with something that is not advantageous for my trades?
Man, you're full of good stuff. I was going to say full of it, but that would not have came off well. You're full of the capital IT, the it knowledge.
Yeah, and these are the things that, again, if you're feeling that FOMO that you want to trade, you feel like you have the fear of missing out, you need to remind yourself of all of these things that if it's not a good market to trade, there's no reason to be trading it.
Yeah. Oh, well, that has been the fastest hour and a half I have had on the show in a while. So this is awesome. I got to go to here in about, we fast markets in here in 30 minutes, but I got to go to my kid's recital. He's singing.
Oh, nice.
10 in the morning. Like what?
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of fun though. That's going to be cute. I remember when my kids were doing that, I always had to have this VCR camera recording, and it always bummed me out because I never got to watch it on real time. I'm always looking at it through the camera.
Guys in the chat,
I don't think we've ever looked at them.
Yeah, right. Guys in the chat, you guys busted by it. I like this. I like good trade. I like passionate traders. Period. Why do you think Johnny and I have been hanging out for so long?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're lucky you get to spend time together all day, every day. That's awesome.
Yeah. No,
When
it's
we were in
great.
the office, it was incredible because we'd always be like, "Hey, check out this guy, blah blah blah." And guys could be girls, it does, whatever. Check out this trader, and we would just talk them. They're doing this, they're doing that, and then, hey, you gonna have a conversation with them? Yeah. And then come into my office. I got off the phone with so and so. So
Yeah, we don't get to do that anymore because we're not in the
know.
office. But with TopstepTV, we get to spend a little time together every day. Love it. And, there's so much passion in this room right now. Between Rips and Michael and myself. This is what we do. It's what we did on the floor. It was traders talking about trading
all day long. Yeah,
all day long.
Okay, guys. So the schedule, I just mentioned that fast markets ends in 30 minutes. After that, if we could throw the schedule up here, or Jack or James, if you want to bring in the schedule for the others to know. Bell to bell, guys. Bell to bell, baby. Ear to ear. That's we're going to be starting that club next year. Is what we're working on too, and that will be a better reward than sitting here waiting for fire drill. But the bell to bell club. So we'll give a schedule of the bell to bell.
There we go. Bell to bell. I was here bell to bell. Well, I'm here bell to bell every day, but I was on every segment yesterday.
Absolutely.
With Eddie being
10:30,
gone.
we got shoulder tap with Mick, and then we're going to go into a quick coffee break. Coming back at 11 for power players. We got a bunch of Topstep guys in here. You don't want to miss that. Top quiz with Vanessa W from our finance department. The funded trader support department. If you've been a funded trader, you've probably talked with her. She's amazing. We got group coaching. It's still Ask Hogue Anything Week. We're going to drop a form, put your questions in there. We're going to answer them. And then we're going back to the futures. Copyright not intended. Strategy Lab, Anne Marie. She's back. We're going to have her on. She's going to be with Hogue. They're going to talk about some amazing things. You're not going to want to miss it. And then Power Hour, we have Trade Like KV on for the last hour. We're going to try and make some moves. You had some crazy stuff yesterday. So who knows what's going to happen today?
Mm-hmm.
James, I love it. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks,
You got it. I've had 2 cups of coffee. Let's go.
Yeah, Anne Marie and I are going to be talking about the failed auction. What is a failed auction? We saw a beautiful one yesterday in the NASDAQ, right off the highs. So we'll be talking to Anne Marie about that. Should be a good session.
Yeah, great session that everybody's liking too. John Hogan, besides group coaching which you're in, and yesterday's was incredible. Shoulder tap with Mick. Mick is head of our risk managing team and department. He watches everybody, he talks to everybody, and his team is constantly updating him on who should be called up and whatnot. Of course, Rip's got a call up to trade on live capital, real professional trading backed by a prop firm. So he on shoulder tap comes up here in 30-some minutes, starts, and he'll talk about all of our funded traders. So people love that show. And Danielle, if you're listening, people are actually asking for it to be extended. So we'll see how it goes. But we're going to add more stats and everything next year too that you can share.
I think we've already kind of extended it. We're giving it more time so people can ask questions for shoulder tap.
Perfect.
Rips, there was a question I was thinking about asking you, and I just saw it come across in the chat here.
Yeah, hit me.
Do you look at Delta at all?
Yeah, delta divergence strategies are good. I have cumulative volume delta on all of the charts that I'm watching here. So
okay.
I keep a watch on cumulative volume delta, and I use it a little bit differently, right? There's a CVD delta divergence strategy that people can use, but I use it differently. I like to see where the delta is at certain areas of the market. So like at certain areas of the structure. So when we're at a certain area, is the delta negative or positive by how many contracts? And where was it earlier? How many contracts did we change the delta to get to that area? That's more so the way that I'm using it personally.
Okay. Very similar to what I look at as well.
Oh, cool.
I'm just kind of looking at the actual number of it and just kind of paying attention to it. But with this platform, I can look at 30-minute periods and see where delta was, and increasing or decreasing at certain levels. So looking at it largely the same way. I thought it was a good question, and I was thinking about asking it, but somebody else asked it. So thanks for the answer. Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's, there's all these different indicators, all these different things that you can use. And as a trader, you really do have to spend time and find out what works for you. What works for me may not work for you. Everybody's different. Everybody looks at the market a different way. And I know it's going to be painful for some of you folks to hear, but at the end of the day, there is no magic bullet. There is no one thing that's going to be fixing all of your trading problems. If you're having any trading problems, it's time in the market. It's building up that implicit memory to become a better discretionary trader, learning how to read the markets, and just having that patience. And psychology is a whole different piece of that pie, but it's nothing that you can rush. It's absolutely nothing that you can rush.
Yeah, there's a million ways to skin a cat, but you've got to have the right mindset and the right psychology when it comes to this, right?
Absolutely.
Speaking of rushing, I'll be right back. I need to rush to the bathroom. Give me 30 seconds.
All right. All right.
So generally in the pit, Hogue, when you're looking at a session like this, when you're looking at a quiet time like this, and there's not a lot of noise going off in the pit, are you guys pretty much just cracking jokes right now and talking about what your holiday plans are?
Pretty much. I was always pretty handy with a joke when things were slow. If you don't have a position on, you're not really focusing on too much of anything. You're just kind of hanging out. There were people that you would call friends. There were people that you would certainly call enemies in the pit. And there were a whole lot of acquaintances. There were just a couple of friends, lots of enemies, and lots of acquaintances. But, you got along. And if it was slow, you'd kind of goof off, kind of do what we're doing here. I mean, we're just kind of talking markets, try and learn something. I used to when it was slow, I'd go hang around some of the bigger, better traders and kind of pick their brains a little bit.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, one of them, his name was Steve, and
what was his card?
His like badge.
Yeah, his badge.
ERS.
Okay, gotcha.
And he, he's a nice guy. Started like everybody, just trading one lots and trying to figure out how to scalp one lots. And he built himself up into a 50, 100 lot trader. Wow. Big trader, good trader. I mean, we're talking 50, 100 big S&Ps. That's massive. Five times the minis. And I just kind of pick his brain. And one of the things that many people have heard me say this already, but I asked him how he made so much money, and he said, "Well, that's not the right question. The question is, how did I become a good decision maker when it comes to trading?"
Right.
It's
that's about the money right there.
Right. It's I came in with the mindset that I wanted to learn to be a good trader. I want to know how to make good trading decisions. And as I got better at making trading decisions, the money came as a byproduct of that.
Exactly. Yeah. So are you a pretty competitive person then, Hogue, naturally? I mean, throughout your life, were you ever, a very competitive type of person?
I was a sponsored skateboarder.
Oh, wow. Were you on a Thrasher at all?
No, I mean, this was like, the late 70s. I don't even think the Ollie had been invented yet.
You guys are still doing vert ramps, right?
Yeah.
We did pools
ramps and pipes. And there were a couple of skate parks that we could go at. But I competed in like southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. But I've never been excessively competitive with others, but I'm very competitive about self-improvement and doing things better as time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're not doing go ahead.
No, I'm just saying
if you're not doing that, then you got one life to live that about, regardless of what race or religion you think about, blah blah blah. Why not make that one consistently improving and getting better? And whatever it is that you're actually like enjoy. So
find ways for self-improvement every single day. Practice mindfulness, be grateful for your life, be grateful for what opportunities you have, seize those opportunities as they come. A lot of people take their lives for granted in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Grateful, humble, creative, and centered. Those are my 4 buzzwords at the end of the opening.
I really like that too. I caught the end of that this morning. That was really nice. I like that a lot.
He's been saying that for 10 years straight at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, just to touch on what we're talking about here, trading, I think, builds you into a much better person that you can give to the world, meaning that you become a better husband, you become a better wife, whatever the case, you become a better person to your kids, to your family, you become more patient, you become more disciplined in all areas of your life if you're taking this process seriously. And that's the byproduct. You were talking about byproduct of trading right. Well. That's another byproduct that you get to look forward to, is that you get to have a much more fulfilling life, because trading will sculpt you into the best version of yourself if you can fight through the fire and flames. And This is not for the people that are YOLOing, of course. These are the people who have the passion to learn these things and put in the discipline to go through the process. Those are the people who are going to end up on the other side being a much more grateful person, much more gracious, humble, just a good person. And I thank trading for that. It's an amazing thing. If you get that far in your journey, you start to notice that about yourself.
And you're so right about that. And I think that there would probably be a lot more successful traders if people weren't afraid of the changes that are going to come their way if they become successful in trading. You know, change is difficult. It scares people, even positive change. You're going to be a better person, especially doing all the kind of internal mental and psychological work that you have to do.
Yeah. And I think that the root of all of it starts with patience, learning to be a more patient person, because you're going to have so many follies in trading that really test your patience, test your resolve as a person. And if you're just snap reacting to those things with anger and you have a temper, I was on tilt, like I said, for 2 years straight. And that's how I reacted to those situations. The other side of that was when I came out of that tilt and I learned how to control those emotions, and that bled over into any other, basically every single area of my life, of being more patient with people, being more understanding with people. And again, I'm so grateful for that. And that's what
trading does. If you work on these, managing your emotions, controlling your behaviors, understanding the emotions that you're feeling, and all that spills over into the rest of your life. So that's the beautiful part I love about trading, is the more you work on your discipline, the more that spills over to something else. You're staying. I'm not drinking soda all the time. You know, I'm not hitting my DLL now. You know, blah blah blah. And patience, 100,000%. And that's why they dilute the power of FOMO. Try to work on that one. Patience is like the foundational thing. I have been struggling with that since the very beginning.
You've been really patient today, MP. I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, I have a great conversation with it, which is like a nice crutch to keep me from going that direction.
Right.
But yeah. Speaking of patience, the market is patiently moving sideways.
And again, you know, to folks out there, if you're trying to force your will in the market like this, the market's probably washing you and rinsing you apart. It's a time to take a step back. It's time to just let the market do its thing. And you're not going to be a participant for now. Wait for better conditions, and that will be better for your trading.
I mean, look at the 30-minute candles that I have over here. Open and close. Excuse me. The bodies are just open and close on the candles. 30 minutes. There's an hour later. Open and close.
Indecision.
Yep.
Indecision.
So, I mean, so don't think that you're missing out on anything. Don't get to over trading. Preserve capital. It's towards the end of the year. End your year on a high note as far as confidence and think tank and knowledgeful. Even
how many candles is that? That's 4 candles in a row, complete indecision in the market. That's your time to just punch the card and say, all right, we're done for the day.
Start wrapping presents.
We got about 15 minutes until we head to shoulder tap, and if we're barcoding, how about some stats? You want to see some hot streaks?
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, we don't have Eddie, so I'm red, but come on. There it is. Funded hot streaks. All right, we got George N XFA 17 days, Manuel P 14 days, Andrew A. Is that an Andrew A we know? 13 days. Sheen 13 days, and Tong 13 days as well. I don't have a lot of information on these. These were compiled by JD last night, but good job, guys. 17 days.
Yeah, great job.
A lot of lucky 13s there.
A lot of lucky 13s.
You can kind of see that these guys they're not swinging for the fences. They're probably trading micros, but that consistency is what is paying.
Yeah, consistency is key. You know, I remember my support days talking to people on the phone. I tell them, just put up what you got and keep at it. Chip away, like Michael says. Jab, jab, jab.
Jab, jab, jab. Hey, Rips. we had Corbs on here like a week. I'm a big jabber, and I found that out really in my life when I was trying to take shortcuts and be like impatience, trying to get there quicker, trying to get level up. But jabbing away at life, brick by brick, chip small ball. Again, we're going back to the same conversation, but it's powerful in my opinion to develop you, because you're patient and you're seeing constant daily, little bit of improvements every single day. And that adds up. If you look back at over a week, you look back over a month or a whole year, days are fast, years are slow, or whatever that line is, the amount you can get done in a year, whatever those cliche lines are. But small daily improvements, if you work on those and you look back over a year, you are a different person. You got a 90-day challenge of losing weight and everything. You see these before and afters. If you really dedicate and stay focused each and every day, discipline, patient with delayed gratification, you're not going to see it till later. Man, good things do end up coming.
And I do want to say the carrot at the end of that stick is that if you are consistently hitting base hits, I promise you that whether it takes a year, a week, a month, or whatever, if you're consistently hitting base hits, lo and behold, there'll be one day where that home run or that grand slam just shows up out of nowhere and you never even expected it. And that's a promise. And that should be what drives you to say, you know what? I'm going to hit base hits. I'm not swinging for the fences. I'm going to keep my appetite low. And if something great happens, awesome. Like this morning, you know, I traded live on my stream before I came on here. I didn't expect to make any money. We had some nice scalps to the top side, made some money, wasn't expecting it at all, you know, and that's how you should be facing the market. You go to the market with a mindset. When I was on tilt for years, I went into the mindset every single day. I'm going to have a huge day today, huge day. And it's like quicksand. The more you fight against the market, the harder it's going to push back on you. It's going to show you that you have no shot. So you need to temper those expectations, reel it in, focus on the base hits. Grand slams are going to surprise you.
You know what I love about, go ahead, Johnny.
Rips, I think everybody kind of starts their career in trading angry.
Oh yeah.
I know,
you know, with my trading career, I got lucky early on. I was trading a dual ETF, JNUG, JDust. It was a gold miner ETF, 3x leverage by Direxion. And, you know, I got very lucky in that. And I thought trading was so easy. I think I went long JNUG and gold miners were doing well that day. They're doing poorly, get into JDust. I've told this story on a podcast before, but basically, you know, I made about 20, 30 grand on the first couple trades that I took. And oh yeah, I thought I was like, oh man, everybody else is an idiot. I figured this out. It's so easy. You just go long if they're going to be good, and then you buy this one if they're going to be short that day. And then within 2 weeks, I blew the entire account, and it was just like the most humbling experience, you know, because you realize, yeah, I'm an ant. I don't know anything. I'm nothing. I don't know anything there is to know about trading. Yeah, I didn't even know how price was derived in the marketplace. I knew nothing about it, and it's this humbling experience.
Effect.
Sorry.
You hit the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah, exactly right. It is to a T, right? And
what's the Dunning-Kruger effect? What?
It's where you think you're a genius, but you're not.
Oh,
yeah. You think you're much smarter than you are.
There's a lot of those out there.
Yeah. They're running around everywhere in the world right now. But yeah, you get you get this ego about you where you think I'm better than everybody. I can't believe other people struggle with this. I just have to press a few buttons and this is so easy. And then that ego gets the best of you, and then all of a sudden, you're on the floor, you're on your knees and asking, what the heck just happened? And it's humbling. And that's, again, it's trading crafts you into the best version of yourself. Because if you can get through that, you can make it through that gauntlet and come out the other side as somebody who's consistently profitable. You're going to be a much better person.
Now,
a lot more patience.
This doesn't appeal to everybody because it does take hard work. And a lot of people will go back to the thing. We'll choose, how do I get the shortest path to that? So it is a hard work. It's a hard work and dedication and grind, but it's worth it.
It's exactly. And it's a skill that you will possess for the rest of your days. Right. And it's the best. And again, like I said, carries over to everything, but you know, it's everybody that comes into this thinking that you're going to make money quick and you're going to make all this money. It's going to be so easy. If that is your MO going into this, you should stop right now. If you think that you're going to just jump in and you're going to be so profitable a couple of weeks and it's so simple and all this, just stop now. If you're in this for the long haul, if you have a passion for it and you're ready to take on one of the most challenging things that you'll ever engage in your own life, you know, it's equivalent to mastering a sport or mastering something like chess. If you're into that type of challenge, this is where you should be. And that's where your mindset should be.
Yep, I say the chess thing all the time. You're playing, you're going, coming up. Well, actually, I think futures is checkers and options is chess. But
yeah,
outright futures is like chess.
Right.
But no, it's just it's new every day, and then yeah. So markets are going sideways. ICT's in the house. Hey, go ahead, Johnny.
If you want to see it, I got the Dunning-Kruger effect up here on my screen here. You can see what Rips did. With his first trade, he thought he knew everything.
Hold on, Johnny, wait for it. They're going to switch it over screens.
Yep.
There
it is. Okay. Yeah. So he got into trading, had a really big win. He thinks he's God's gift to trading.
Exactly.
It didn't take too long until he found the valley of despair. And then you gotta figure out, well, I got a lot of work to do if I'm going to figure this out. you start to get a little bit consistent, and then you find that the sustainability back up here. So I think everybody has they don't know what they don't know at the very beginning. We saw it happen on the trading floor a lot, where a trader would, be brand new on the floor. He'd hit a big winner. We all knew, what, he's in for trouble, man, because he probably thinks he's God's gift to trading, but but trading is going to humble him, and usually quickly.
And what's unfortunate too is because most people don't have the wherewithal or understanding that they want to make it that long in the game. So they usually stop at the valley of despair, and I talk about that. I was in the valley of despair for a while where I was consistently losing money. The way that I got out of it was obviously time in trades in the market, but getting to that point where you're not making money, but then you're finally not losing money and your profit curve is just going straight. And it was the most amazing thing ever when you finally reach that plateau stage. It's the best feeling in the world. And it's like, wait, but you're not making any money. No, you don't understand. You're not losing money.
I'm not losing. I like Dalton said, most people that get into trading either run out of money or run out of time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Sleep tight in here goes, I don't care how long it takes. I like that because you're allowing it to come to you, which everybody has that different come to you. They're learning curve or whatever, and however that goes. So good stuff in there. Hey, ICT. Hey, Patrick Wheeland. What's going on? You guys are in here. Rips, you're holding 3,500 people consistently in this.
What is it usually at for your guests?
If we're doing a fire drill, it's like 10,000. No, it's like, we hold about 3,000. Next year, our goal, we'll hold about 10,000.
I like that a lot. And I think you'll hit that goal for sure.
We have zero marketing spend. We have zero marketing spend, even as a company. And we have so much cool shit coming out next year that we're just going to make this the ESPN meets CNBC meets Barstools smashed together is kind of the feeling that we want people to have. We're traders. We can be a little loose. There's going to be no suit and ties on here. There'll be no, it'll be talking shop. I mean, that's what we like to do. We've been talking about it all morning, and we'll be watching markets, and we'll flip to it like Red Zone does when you got, markets that are moving.
Which hasn't been happening for the last hour. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, it's going to be ESPN Ocho. The Ocho.
Yep.
The Ocho. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works for him.
That's a great film.
Well, guys, we're coming up here on time a little bit, so I just want to give a chance for anyone to say any final thoughts from this fast market section before we move into shoulder tap with Mick. Rips, it was great having you on with us, but we would love to have you again.
Oh yeah, I'd love to be back.
Why don't you leave Rips with the last one? I'll go really quick, and then Johnny, I want you to take it. Rips, enjoyed this time. We're gonna follow up. I know we have some agreement on regular time. I would like to get this more. I don't know what that agreement is yet, but I truly enjoy this. Having somebody, for one, you and John's voice is just therapeutic, and then your knowledge is just a wealth of information. So even if you guys are down money today, hopefully your think tank and knowledge tank got filled up, which is like you got to do two things, and you got to try to make money trading. That's what we're doing every day, and fill up that think tank. So Rips, I did that both today with you.
I love that,
Johnny.
All right. Well, Michael, we'll see you soon. Have a good rest of the day. Enjoy the singing, and you gotta soak that stuff up. Doesn't last too long.
No, it doesn't. I love
right. Mm-hmm. Rips, what a pleasure getting to know you today. Thank you very much for joining us. Looking forward to any and all the times that you want to come and join us, and have a great holiday if we don't see you before then, and we'll see you soon.
Really appreciate it, both of you having me on here. Really appreciated the conversation. And like I said, if you folks want to join me tomorrow, giving away 3 combines on the Market Clubhouse YouTube live channel, just go on YouTube, search Market Clubhouse, 2 words, and hopefully we can have some more top steppers here in the building. It'd be a lot of fun.
There you go. Put his YouTube link in there, and then guys, go check that out tomorrow. Try to win that stuff, but also get familiar with the Market Clubhouse. We like working with you, Rips, and all that kind of great stuff. Thank you. You guys all have a great day, and preserve the capital. Keep it in your pocket.